I find it very alarming at the time, but I remember when I was offered the part.
Yeah.
So the people, obviously, the people that offered it me were the American writers and producers, Dan and David, who didn't know anything about my past here or my singing
Okay, yeah.
career. So somebody had said, you know, when I got it, I didn't know anything about Game of Thrones, and somebody said, you want to look at the blogs coming up, Jerome. Somebody sent me something, and I didn't even know anything about blogs, but obviously there's fans of the books, and the English ones. Literally, but there was one guy who said, because they were talking, who's going to be cast as Bronn, blah, blah, and then it comes down to, it's Jerome Flynn, and one guy said, this is the worst day of my life. I was like, and it was quite hurtful. I think it's that impression that I'd given, you know, singing old pop songs with Robson. It was the last thing they could imagine that was Bronn of the Blackwater, you know, with my blonde hair and blue eyes and, you know.
Singing love songs.
Yeah, doing silly dances on the roof of New York building. So I hope I've kind of reclaimed some street cred. The Bronn's brought that back, but it was funny. That was literally it's a very sad day for quite a lot of people from what I could gather.
It's funny because having been such a big fan of it and seeing you as Bronn, in my mind, I'd built up an idea of who you were as well, because like you said, a lot of the times when you play a character, there's a little bit of that character in you as an actor, hence why you relate to the role sometimes, right? So I had this idea of like, okay, like he's going to be like this butch kind of, and even, you know, the role you played in John Wick 3 recently, it's like a kind of butch kind of alpha male kind of role.
Yeah.
But then as I was obviously like researching and doing some reading and reading previous interviews, and then we had that short phone call earlier, I was like, oh my God, this is not what I expected at all. This is like, but you know, I think that's kind of testament, isn't it, to like, the way you played the role, but how you can step into something like that and portray it the way it's meant to be portrayed, despite
not necessarily being like
that.
No.
Yeah,
it's one of the. That's why I love acting, though. It allows you to play out. You know, help me to play out those archetypes in myself. Like when I first started Bronn, the first thing I had to do was there was an ambush, and I think I had to kill about 6 or 7 people. You know, with all machete, sword, and I didn't. It's like when the camera rolled, it's like it tapped into something very, you know, very primal. Given the situation I was in, I could really let loose. So I love that. No, and that's for me. That's the best. That's the best bit about acting is I think also all the meditation, all this experience that I've had coming back to acting, if you like, I feel freer with it and able to kind of treat it a bit like kind of a channeling, just tuning into those energies and those archetypes rather than like hopefully less self-conscious and just able to let that creativity flow. So yeah, no, it's been kind to me.